What is up, everybody? This is Nick Fiore, the creator of Fiorious Nation, right here on YouTube.com. It is Monday, November the 21st of 2022. Hope you guys can hear me. This is my blue snowball microphone right here, so got it set up. Hopefully, you guys are able to hear me. Should be able to hear me. So I think you should be able to hear me, no problem. So got all set up. So hopefully you guys can hear this. But anyways, it is Monday, November 21st, 2022. I'm Nick Fiore, Fiorious Nation, right here on YouTube. And as you see in the title, this is the retro review for WWE Survivor Series 2002. Yes, for the first time ever on Fiorious Nation on YouTube, we are doing a retro review for one of the big four WWE shows of the year from the past. Thought about this for a while and wanted to do this for a while, and we're doing it today. I'm glad we're doing it today. We are here right now to review a Survivor Series from the past, it's 2 decades ago, 20 years ago. In my opinion, one of the best Survivor Series in the history of the Survivor Series pay-per-view history. That is Survivor Series 2002, which took place in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And it happened to take place at the Big Apple. It took place on November 17th, Sunday night, 2002, in MSG, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York. This pay-per-view was during the beginning of the very beginning of the very first brand split and the ruthless aggression era. You had Raw and their roster, SmackDown, their roster. That was when SmackDown was taped years ago, way before it was live. Raw was their flagship show, had the brand split. Raw had their World Heavyweight title. SmackDown had the WWE title, which was formerly the undisputed WWE title. You had Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. In late 2002 was the WWE Champion going into Survivor Series 2002 against the Big Show. You had Triple H on Raw in late 2002 as the World Heavyweight Champion. When he was a heel, when he had that big program and rivalry with Shawn Michaels in 2002, when Shawn was wrestling again, when Shawn was retired with a back injury for 4 years, retired at WrestleMania 14 in 1998, and was retired for 4 years up until SummerSlam 2002, where he fought Triple H in his return match in a street fight where Shawn Michaels won with the surprise jackknife pin combo. Then afterwards, Triple H hit him from behind with the sledgehammer, put him on a stretcher, put him in the hospital for a while. And that was the beginning of their rivalry, when then Triple H was awarded the World Heavyweight title. He fought guys like Kane and No Mercy 2002. He fought RVD on Unforgiven 2002. You had the slow formation of one of the biggest groups in WWE history, Evolution, with Triple H as the leader. And then you had with him Ric Flair, Batista, and Randy Orton, who were in their rookie days and just moving up the ranks and learning under the tutelage of and learning under Triple H. And we had that at the time. Brock Lesnar was red hot in 2002 when he got called up to the main roster in 2002 from OVW. Beat The Rock for the WWE title at SummerSlam 2002. Beat The Rock to become become the youngest WWE champion in history at just 25 years old at the time was Brock Lesnar, when he was with Paul Heyman at the time. But anyways, enough ramble on. We're going to get into the retro review for Survivor Series 2002. It's about almost 4.5 minutes recording this video. I don't want to make this video too long because tonight, Raw in Albany at the MVP Arena, I will be there and I will be front row. So look out for that. So we're going to get started. I won't make this video too long. We're just going to go over a brief. We had like 6 matches on the main show, 1 match on Sunday Night Heat, but 2 matches out of the 6 were the bigger talking points. We'll talk more on those, but the others we won't waste too much time on. But let's get into this, guys. So Survivor Series 2002, Sunday, November 17, 2020, 2002, not 2022, 20 years ago, 2002. Sorry about that. This took place in New York City, Madison Square Garden. You had the Raw commentary team of Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, which, in my opinion, are the greatest commentary team of all time. And then you had the SmackDown commentary team of Michael Cole and current AEW commentator and manager Taz, who's currently in AEW. You had the Sunday Night Heat match. You had the tag team match that took place on Sunday Night Heat with William Regal and Lance Storm defeating Goldust and the Hurricane. Goldust, who's now Dustin Rhodes in AEW, and the Hurricane pretty much retired. Lance Storm, a trainer, trains people to be wrestlers at his wrestling school, and William Regal, obviously in AEW. And so with this tag match on Sunday Night Heat, Regal and Storm beating Hurricane and Goldust, Tommy Dreamer then appeared after the match. So that was that on the Sunday Night Heat, the dark match for Survivor Series 02, when at the time it was Sunday Night Heat with their dark matches, where SmackDown had their B show Velocity, former WWE show Velocity, which was SmackDown branded, with the people not on SmackDown TV getting, when they're not, like the people that are not ready for SmackDown branded yet, they're on Velocity, then Raw with the Sunday Night Heat. And I think he had Jacked at the time, but it was like canceled years ago in 02, not mistaken. But anyways, we got that match result on Sunday Night Heat, part of the show. We then get Survivor Series kicking off with a video package featuring Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show with their build up to with the Survivor Series, and then the first ever Elimination Chamber match with the main event at Survivor Series 02 representing for the Raw brand, the first ever Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight for Raw brand's World Heavyweight title, featuring Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, and RVD. We also had the video package for those 6 guys with the Elimination Chamber participants. Then we get the first glimpse of the Elimination Chamber hanging high above the ring, where 20 years ago it was like circled, like shaped, structured, 10 tons of steel, 2 miles of chain, Satan structure. They call it the Elimination Chamber, but with the Elimination Chamber today, much larger, not so much circly shaped on the outside, like roof rim, and not so much steel on like the outside of the rings. On the outside of the ring for today's chamber. Back then, it was like solid steel, like next to the outsides of the ring, inside the chamber from 20 years ago. That was steel. And being in that match years ago, getting flesh on that steel, man, that would hurt and that would suck. That was with back then, 20 years ago. I mean, the chamber match, you're in it still, take bumps in there, still nasty stuff today, but back then it was way brutal. But we get the first match to kick off the on-air pay-per-view show for Survivor Series 02. The 6-man tag team elimination tables match. You have Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Spike Dudley versus the 3-minute warning of Rico, Rosie, the brother of Roman Reigns, God rest his soul, and Jamal, a.k.a. Umaga, God rest his soul. We have Bubba picking Spike up, and he threw him over the top rope onto Rico, Rosie, and Jamal. Bubba then dropped his knees, and Jeff leaped off his back over the top rope and onto all 3 members of 3-minute warning. Spike Dudley then hit the what's up headbutt on Rosie. Bubba then called for the tables. He's like, get the tables. And then he set one of the tables up in the corner, but he was attacked. Jamal then misses his spear to the table, but he was not eliminated because he went through with his own momentum. So then Rico then sets up a table and tried to suplex Spike Dudley through it, but it got blocked. Rosie and Jamal then hit a double flapjack maneuver on Spike through a table. Spike was eliminated. Jamal then squashes Rico. By mistake, and Bubba hit a bubble bomb on Jamal. They then set up a table as Jeff Hardy stood on the entrance ramp and swanton bombs onto Rosie to eliminate him off the railing, off the entrance ramp, where Jeff does a swanton, one of Jeff's classic swantons in wrestling history, which was classic, so that was cool. So then Rico then goes up top setting for a moonsault, but falls and crotches himself. Jeff then went through a table on the outside, but it was not eliminated because he. So then Jeff went through a table on the outside, but he was not eliminated because he did it to himself. Jeff was then set up outside, and Jamal went to the top rope and splashed to the outside. Jeff eliminated. Bubba then set Rico on a table and went to the top, but Jamal pulled Rico to safety. Bubba then brought Jamal to the top rope and powerbombed Jamal through a table from the top rope. Jamal is then eliminated. So then Jamal and Rosie then come back to triple team Bubba Ray Dudley. Then all of a sudden, Devon Dudley, who was from SmackDown at the time when he was Reverend Devon, but here he then shows up back as the regular Devon Dudley from the Dudley Boys. He comes out with his old Dudley Boys attire, and then the Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray, then hit the 3D on Rico through the table, and they eliminate him. And the Dudleys of Spike and Bubba and Jeff and Jeff Hardy and Spike and Bubba Ray Dudley, they defeat the 3-minute warning of Rosie, Jamal, and Rico, thanks to Devon Dudley. Thought it was an entertaining match, and Devon Dudley coming out. They had this thing years ago where Big Show. This was the Raw after. It was on Raw on the night after No Mercy 2 live on Raw at the time 20 years ago. They had this thing play on television where Big Show got traded to SmackDown from Raw for a bunch of other guys. I had like a 4-for-1 kind of a trade where Eric Bischoff did a Big Show trade, sending Big Show to SmackDown with Raw in exchange, in return getting 4 other guys from SmackDown, and Devon Dudley was one of them. Along, I think, with Val Venus, Ivory, and Maven, former Tough Enough, who was in Tough Enough years ago. And then afterwards, the Dudleys then the original Dudley Boys would then reform on Raw right after this, and they would find success on the Raw brand, winning the Raw Tag Team titles, or the World Tag Team titles. That's World Tag Team titles at the time, I should say. And that was that. We then go on with Stacy Keibler and the band Saliva, that kind of such. We then get the Cruiserweight title match. Billy Kidman beating Jamie Noble with Nadia to become the new Cruiserweight champion. Going to this match, Billy Kidman in a non-title match beat Jamie Noble a couple times. Then he gets this match at Survivor Series and he beats Jamie Noble again, this time for the championship. Billy Kidman is your new Cruiserweight champion. This was when SmackDown had the Cruiserweight division at the time. And all. You had guys like Jerry, you had Rey Mysterio, you had Brian Kendrick, Hurricane, Crash Holly, Matt Hardy at the time, Shannon Moore. Matt Hardy at the time with a version 1 gimmick, which I thought was cool. Good match. Kidman hit the shooting star for the win and for the title win. Then go to a backstage segment with Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. My notes here. Women's title hardcore match: Trish Stratus and Victoria. Victoria beats Trish Stratus to win the women's championship. Victoria won the match after a suplex. This was all right. And such. What? Trish Stratus, a Hall of Famer. Victoria, future Hall of Famer. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I don't want to waste too much time on this video. I want to talk more about the top 2 matches, the WWE title match and the chamber match. So, moving on. We then get backstage segments of Jonathan Coachman and Eric Bischoff. Coach asked Bischoff about the chamber match. Bischoff then gave nothing away, just saying that he got one over on Stephanie, who Stephanie McMahon was the then SmackDown general manager, and then obviously then Raw general manager Eric Bischoff at the time in late 2002. The Big Show then comes in. He interrupts, and he said that Bischoff made a mistake by trading him to SmackDown. Big Show then says that he will walk out as the champion tonight, and then that was it. It then leads to another backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Heyman expresses concern to Brock, saying that Brock hasn't been the same since his Hell in a Cell No Mercy 02 match with The Undertaker, which was a killer match with Brock retaining. Awesome stuff with that match from No Mercy 2002. Heyman then says he's still confident in Brock of him beating Big Show tonight and retaining the WWE Championship. It then leads into one of the top matches, one of the marquee matches of this show, Survivor Series 2002. Undisputed WWE Championship match. Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against the Big Show, who was just recently traded from Raw to SmackDown. When Big Show was first traded to SmackDown around this time, right after No Mercy 2002, Big Show takes out Rikishi, then he takes out The Undertaker. He military press slammed him off the SmackDown stage through a bunch of table and wire stuff, putting The Undertaker out of action until the 2003 Royal Rumble, where Undertaker returned in that year's Rumble match. So this match, Big Show and Lesnar. Then after Big Show took out Undertaker, put him on the shelf for months. Big Show then went on a little bit of a dominant streak on SmackDown. He took out the champion Brock, chokeslammed him through the announce table, manhandling Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's big rookie year in 02 and his breakout year in 02 when he debuted on the Raw after WrestleMania 18 in 2002 in Toronto. Then he was drafted to Raw with the 02 draft, the brand extension. Then Lesnar jumped from Raw to SmackDown, switched brands, moved over to SmackDown in the summer of 02, going into his match with Brock at SummerSlam 02 for the Undisputed Championship, where Brock won the title at SummerSlam 02. And then and then Unforgiven 02, and then at No Mercy 02, he would then wrestle The Undertaker for the championship, which was great stuff. Then you get this match, Big Show and Brock. You had the SmackDown before Survivor Series 02 where Lesnar called out the Big Show. And Heyman was telling Brock, you have no idea what you get yourself into. I don't think you can take on the Big Show. So Lesnar calls Big Show out anyways. Big Show comes out. Lesnar and Big Show brawl. Lesnar sends Big Show into the steps. He hits Big Show a bunch of times in the head with the chair, busting the Big Show wide open, laying him out. And this was the SmackDown before Survivor Series 02. And you get this match. Big Show obviously with the more strength advantage. This match was fine. You had Brock Lesnar hitting a belly-to-belly suplex on the Big Show, which was impressive. Brock then manages to hit a big F5 on Big Show. Lesnar's on top for a cover. Referees 1, 2. Then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman then pulls the referee out of the ring. Lesnar sees this and has the pissed off look on his face. And then Brock Lesnar then chases after Paul Heyman. Gets back in the ring. Referee is down after Heyman pulled the ref out of the ring. Lesnar's chasing Heyman into the ring. As Lesnar gets back in the ring, he gets hit with a chair by the Big Show. Big Show uses the chair with a chair shot to Brock's ribs. And then he hits Brock Lesnar in the head with the chair. Big Show then nailed the choke slam to Brock right on the steel chair. Heyman then puts the ref back in the ring. And referee's 1, 2, and 3. And Big Show wins and is the new WWE Champion after Paul Heyman turns on Brock Lesnar. Then afterwards, Big Show then left with Heyman in a getaway car after Lesnar got screwed. Throughout 02, Lesnar was undefeated, and this loss to the Big Show happened to be Brock Lesnar's first loss in singles competition since debuting in 2002 was Brock Lesnar. And a little fact there. Fine match. In my opinion, I didn't like Heyman turning on Lesnar at the time because Lesnar, as impressive as he was, on the mic at the time, I don't think he was that ready yet. I mean, Lesnar today with the Cowboy Brock Lesnar today is a completely different story. But back then, I think Lesnar still needed Heyman, and Heyman getting taken away from Lesnar so early, I think it was a mistake. And then late 03, the very next year, they then turned Lesnar back heel and put him back with Heyman, which was the best thing for Brock, because going right into 03 with Brock as a babyface on his own, it just wasn't ready for that. Just wasn't ready yet, and I don't think it sat well with a lot of people at the time, in my opinion. Because Vince was still in charge 20 years ago, and Heyman knows Lesnar more than anyone. And when Vince was still in charge could you trust the writers to write properly for Brock and such? No, they would script the hell out of him and make him look really bad. This is why Heyman and Lesnar pairing was so good, because Heyman just got Lesnar. Like, Heyman knew how to properly book Brock Lesnar. Like, you just watch Heyman, watch the way he works. You have Lesnar on his own. Like, do you trust it? I mean, like the writers at the time, like, do you trust them to write properly for Brock when it comes to promos? No. That's why, again, like I said, they had him with Heyman, who just got Brock, who just understood Brock. And I feel like, I mean, Lesnar was red hot and popular in late 02. Still don't get me wrong. I just don't think they should have took Heyman from Lesnar at the time that early. But like Brock Lesnar today, with Cowboy Brock Lesnar, a completely different story. But back then, I thought it was a mistake having Heyman turn on Lesnar, and at the time at Survivor Series 02. That's just me. But Big Show wins. He's the new WWE champion. Then he would go on to fight Kurt Angle for the title. Was Big Show the next month at Armageddon 02, where Big Show dropped the championship to Kurt Angle, thanks to Brock, where Brock cost Big Show the title. The very next month at Armageddon 2002, the next month in December 02. This was right after coming out of Lesnar's suspension, where the SmackDown after Survivor Series 02, where they were then SmackDown GM Stephanie McMahon then suspended Brock for like 30 days, or suspended him for a while. He suspended Brock for a while. And this was until right before Armageddon 02, and this is where Brock cost Big Show the championship, allowing Kurt Angle to win the title from the Big Show the very next month at Armageddon in 2002. We then get the next match. We then get the next match on the show, the tag team title elimination triple threat match for the WWE tag team titles, not the SmackDown tag team titles, the WWE tag team titles, where Raw in 02 had the World Tag Team titles, SmackDown in 02 had the new established and created WWE tag team titles, which are currently the Raw tag team titles today, or whatever. So we have the tag team title elimination triple threat match for the WWE tag team titles, the Los Guerreros of Eddie and Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio and Edge versus Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Los Guerreros win this match. Very fun match. With No Mercy 02, they had this tag team title tournament on SmackDown, where No Mercy 02, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit versus Rey Mysterio and Edge for the inaugural WWE Tag Team Championship for the SmackDown brand at the time in 02, where Angle and Benoit happened to win. And then the SmackDown before Survivor Series 02, then Edge and Rey Mysterio, they managed to win the titles on the SmackDown before this match at Survivor Series 02. Los Guerreros win this match, and they become the new champions. We had Eddie locking Rey in El Paso. Rey taps out. Los Guerreros win the titles. Very fun match. Aftermath of this, obviously, like I said just moments ago, Kurt Angle would then go on to beat Big Show the very next month at Armageddon 2002 for the WWE Championship. Chris Benoit would fight Eddie Guerrero one-on-one, non-title one-on-one match the very next month at Armageddon 02 as well. Edge would fight A-Train at A-Train at Armageddon 02 as well. A-Train, a.k.a. Matt Bloom / Tensai / Albert. Chavo doing this thing in the Cruiserweight division and such in 04, a few years after this. And then obviously you had Eddie and Rey and their rivalry in 05, their big rivalry in 05, before Eddie sadly passed away. 17 years ago and such. You had Eddie and Ray and their big rivalry in 05, spring of 05, summer of 05, Eddie's and Ray's big rivalry on SmackDown at the time before Eddie died, where he had like the custody of Dominic. And hopefully Adam's watching this, because I know he'll say that Dominic is not a Mysterio and that he's not Rey Mysterio's son, that he is Eddie's son. So hope Adam's watching this. So yeah, but Los Guerreros win the titles here. Very fun match, in my opinion. And Ray and Edge were the last team eliminated by Los Guerreros for Los Guerreros to win the championships. Yeah. Eddie and Angle and Benoit were the first. Edge hits his spear in Benoit. Benoit and Angle are the first team eliminated. Then Eddie makes Ray tap out to the El Paso Lasso, with Ray and Edge being the last team eliminated, with Los Guerreros winning the titles here. We then get an in-ring segment of Raw's Christopher Nowinski and SmackDown's Matt Hardy version 1. They're out in the ring, disrespecting the fans. Then free agent Scott Steiner then shows up. The big pop in Madison Square Garden, New York City. Gets a big pop in MSG. Fans go crazy for Scott Steiner. The uncle, current NXT champion Braun Breaker's uncle, Scott Steiner, who went in the Hall of Fame this past April in Dallas, Texas at WrestleMania 38 weekend, which I thought was very, very nice. So you had Steiner hyping the fans up. We then have chance of Big Pop, and so Big Papa Pump comes out. Fans chant Steiner, Steiner, Steiner. Scott Steiner then attacks both Matt Hardy and Christopher Nowinski. Steiner gorilla presses Matt to the outside of the ring onto Nowinski. Steiner then does a few push-ups in the ring for a big pop. Steiner then grabs the mic and he says, "This goes to all my freaks in New York City. Holla if you hear me." And then Scott Steiner's music goes off, and that was it. Very hot segment, very, very good segment. And this led after this to which brand Scott Steiner was signing, because when WCW went out of business in 01, Scott Steiner was part of WCW. WCW in 2001 went out of business. Then 02, Scott Steiner then signed with WWE, and he was a free agent. They had the story of which show Scott Steiner was going to sign with. It was going to be Raw. It was going to be SmackDown. And it was weeks of anticipation. Where's he going to go? Ultimately, Scott Steiner chose Raw. And then obviously Scott Steiner and Triple H with the World Heavyweight title program for the Raw brand going into 2003 at the Royal Rumble, and at No Way Out and No 3 and such, and that was that. And then we get the main event, the first, and this is from the Raw brand, the first ever Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kane, Booker T, Chris Jericho, and Rob Van Dam. You have Chris Jericho, then World Tag Team Champion, at the time making his entrance first, coming up to King of My World theme, which was just one of my favorite Chris Jericho themes outside of Break the Walls Down and Judas. Chris Jericho, he comes out, he's placed in one of the pods. Then Booker T comes out, he's placed in one of the pods. Kane then comes out to Slow Chemical by Finger 11, which is my favorite Kane theme of all time. I miss that theme song so much. So good. This was when WWE theme songs were so good now too. WWE music today is just not good. It's trash. They have like Def Rebel writing themes. It sounds generic. It's just bad. It's just really bad. CFOs Jim Johnston knew how to make wrestling music. Def Rebel not so much. And Def Rebel's wrestling theme music is just straight up trash. It's just garbage. The only good songs from Def Rebel are Roman Reigns, Biggie, and Karrion Kross, and it's not even Def Rebels, and I don't think Def Rebel had much input in that, and if they did, they'd make it look really bad at all, big time. this 02 and even 02 with Jim Johnson, even with CFOs in like 2014 to like 2020, just their music for wrestlers was just attention to detail was spot on, and it was just so good. I miss WWE wrestling theme musics like that, and I wish we had that again in WWE. I would really hope for I would love. And now CFOs, they left with some money because of money issues in 2020. They felt like they weren't being paid enough in 2020. That's why they left this right before the pandemic, I think. But I just wish CFOs would come back to just get rid of the Steph Rumble shit. It's just garbage. It's just straight up garbage. But then we get Shawn Michaels then coming out. RVD comes out. Triple H, the champion in this match, comes out, makes his entrance. RVD and Triple H start the match in the ring while the others are locked inside their respective Lexio-like pods. We have, before all this, Bischoff in the ring for the match and bragged about creating the Elimination Chamber. We get Triple H and RVD starting the match in the ring. Triple H got busted open within 3 minutes of this match, which was nasty. RVD hits the Rolling Thunder over the top rope onto Triple H, laying onto Triple H while Triple H was laying on the steel flooring on the outside, which was fucking brutal. RVD then flipped off Chris Jericho, gave Jericho the middle finger through the glass. RVD then climbed up on top of Jericho's chamber pod. Jericho then pulls RVD into the chamber through the steel chain roof. We then get every 5 minutes a new participant released into the match until all 6 people have entered the match and such. We get the first 5-minute mark. Who's coming out? Chris Jericho's chamber pod opens first. Out comes Chris Jericho. RVD then goes after Jericho while Triple H is laying in the corner, bleeding from his forehead. RVD then tosses Jericho over the top rope onto the staging. RVD jumped off the side of the cage, flipping off. It hitting Jericho with a crossbody. Triple H and Jericho then double team RVD and slam him into the steel chain repeatedly. Triple H then hit RVD with a DDT. Next pod opens randomly. Out comes Booker T. He takes it to Triple H and Chris Jericho, clearing the ring. Booker T then does his spin-a-rooney to a big pop. RVD and Booker T then started going at it. Jericho and Triple H layout on the steel staging, starting to catch their breath. Booker then hit Triple H with a scissors kick, but didn't follow up with the cover for some odd reason, which I thought he should have covered there. RVD then went to the top of an empty chamber, 15 feet in the air. RVD hits the 5-star frog splash on the Triple H, but though RVD hit the 5-star frog splash, Triple H off the top of the pod, RVD then hurts himself, then hurts his knees afterwards because of this move. Booker is on a top rope missile drop kick. 1, 2, 3. Booker T eliminates RVD, and RVD's the first one eliminated. We then get the next pod to randomly open, and Kane comes out. So Shawn Michaels, the last one to obviously enter this match, which gave Shawn Michaels a huge advantage. So then Kane's chamber pod then opens. Kane comes in. He's cleaning house. Kane gorilla presses Chris Jericho face first onto the chains, which looked nasty. My God, the way Kane launched Jericho was just, oh my God, it looked scary. The power of Kane at the time, when Kane was in his prime, when he could actually go in the ring years ago. Now it's retired, and now obviously Kane, now 2021 WWE Hall of Famer, and well-deservedly so, and well-deservedly so as well. Kane then throws Jericho through the bulletproof glass plexiglass-like pod, and it shatters. Kane then hits a chokeslam on Booker T. Jericho then hits the Lion Saw on Booker T. And 1, 2, 3, Jericho then eliminates Booker T. So Booker T's the second guy eliminated in this match. So Jericho's then busted, and Jericho's busted open and bleeding as well, just like Triple H in this match. Kane then press slammed Chris Jericho into the ring from the staging area. Kane then power slammed Triple H off the top turnbuckle. And then the last pod to open is Shawn Michaels' chamber. Shawn Michaels comes in. Triple H continued to rest in the corner. Kane chokeslammed all of them and called for the tombstone piledriver on Triple H. Triple H reversed it and pushed Kane into Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music. So Kane needs a sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels. Triple H hits the pedigree on Kane. Chris Jericho then comes in, hits the Lionsault on Kane. 1, 2, 3, and then Kane's eliminated by Chris Jericho. So it took a sweet chin music, a pedigree, and a Lionsault, and Kane is out. So it took 3 big moves to eliminate Kane, and this protect Kane. So I didn't mind this at all. So this actually made Kane look stronger. It took a bunch of moves to get Kane out, which Kane is this monster at the time, right? And it took 3 big moves to eliminate Kane from this match. So this protects Kane and makes Kane look strong. I did not mind this at all. Michaels is then busted open and bleeding in this match then is next as well. Shawn Michaels then went for a piledriver onto Chris Jericho on the steel staging, but Jericho reversed it to back body drop. Michaels back first into the steel flooring, which looked freaking nasty. Michaels then hit a moonsault on Jericho. Michaels locks in the walls of Jericho on Jericho, his own move, but it's broken up by Triple H. Then Triple H then set Chris Jericho up for the pedigree, but it was reversed into the walls of Jericho. Triple H just onto the ropes, but Jericho dragged them back away from the ropes. Shawn Michaels out of nowhere, sweet chin music on Chris Jericho. 1, 2, 3, and Jericho's eliminated by Shawn Michaels, and then it's down to 2, Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And then a Raw problem before this match, going into Survivor Series 02, Shawn Michaels said he would do whatever it takes to make sure Triple H didn't walk out of this match the World Heavyweight Champion, because Triple H put him in the hospital coming out of SummerSlam 02 with this big Shawn Michaels and Triple H storyline during the early 2000s at the time, during this time frame. So it's down to Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Triple H hit the double A spine buster on Michaels. Triple H back body dropped Shawn Michaels onto the steel staging on the outside. Michaels then went for the pedigree on Triple H, but it gets reversed and then Shawn Michaels then gets catapulted into one of the pods, which looked freaking just words can't describe how brutal it was. It looked really, really nasty. The way Shawn Michaels landed through that plexiglass-like pod and it broke, oh my God, it looked freaking brutal, bro. Brutal. So Michaels goes through the glass, and he's busting even more. And he's busted open even more. And he's laid motionless, not even moving. Triple H then dragged him back in the ring, goes for a cover, only gets a 2 count. Michaels then pulls himself up on Triple H's trunk. Michaels and Triple H traded blows. Triple H hit a face buster on Michaels. Michaels fell to the steel staging on the outside of the ring. Triple H then goes for the pedigree, but Michaels reversed it into catapult to Triple H, payback for what Triple H did to catapult to Shawn Michaels earlier in this match. So Triple H then gets catapulted into the chain. Michaels then climbed to the top rope on one of the chamber pods, delivers the elbow drop. Michaels then gets to his feet. He's on fire. He's calling for the sweet chin music, tuning up the band. Triple H blocked this sweet chin music, reversing it into a pedigree. Triple H covered Michaels. 1, 2, kick out, near fall. Very, very close 3 count, and Triple H almost retaining here. And crowd was shocked, and Triple H was shocked. Triple H then goes for the pedigree again. He tries the pedigree again, but it gets reversed. Michaels hits a sweet music on Triple H in the ring. 1, 2, 3. And Triple H is the last person eliminated in this match. Shawn Michaels wins the first ever Elimination Chamber match. And Shawn Michaels is the new World Heavyweight Champion in New York City, in Madison Square Garden, at Survivor Series 2002. Michaels then celebrates in the ring as the confetti then drops from the high ceiling. and the confetti and ticker tape then falls from the roof. Big celebration where Shawn wins the championship. This was fantastic. This was absolutely incredible. First chamber match delivered. Told a great story of Michaels saying he would make sure Triple H doesn't walk out of this match with the championship. Was telling a great story with that. And this was just the beginning of Shawn Michaels and Triple H with their rivalry in the early 2000s at this time. Because the next month, Armageddon 2002, 3 Stages of Hell match for the World Heavyweight title, Triple H would end up winning the title back a month later at Armageddon 2002 in a 3 Stages of Hell match, the first of all being a street fight, which Triple H won, second fall cage match, which Michaels won, and then a third fall ladder match, which Triple H won. And then Triple H would go on to fight Scott Steiner, would defend the World Heavyweight title against Scott Steiner again, and then Triple H, and then at the Royal Rumble, in 2003, Triple H would then go on to defend the World Heavyweight title against Scott Steiner. Shawn Michaels, obviously, in the 2003 Rumble. WrestleMania 19, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, which I thought was great. In Seattle at WrestleMania 19. Then the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania 19. Obviously, Triple H and Booker T. Then the Royal Rumble 04, the last man standing match for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, where the match ended in a draw. Then you had Benoit winning the world title in Madison Square Garden, this very same building at WrestleMania 20 and 04, a couple years later. Then Triple H and Shawn Michaels in their Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood 04, which was the end of and the culmination of their rivalry, which was absolutely fantastic. Before then, DX reuniting, then in June of 06, where Triple H then turned babyface again, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels of DX reunited, Triple H turning babyface again, Triple H and Shawn Michaels of D-Generation X reuniting in mid-06 to feud with the McMahons and the Spirit Squadron the summer of 06. DX with Triple H and Shawn Michaels would then go on to win the tag team titles then from Jericho at TLC 09 for the tag team titles on a TLC match. Then obviously today, Triple H, obviously today, now in charge of WWE. Triple H, Paul Levesque, now Triple H / Paul Levesque today. Obviously now in charge of Raw and SmackDown, now in charge of WWE, obviously currently today. And then Shawn Michaels with NXT Europe. And that was that. That was the aftermath coming out of this first chamber match coming out of Survivor Series 2002. And that was that. Overall, overall, the show I thought was very good. One of the best Survivor Series of all time, one of the best Survivor Series in the history of Survivor Series. And we got Survivor Series coming up this Saturday in Boston. Saturday, November 26th of 2022. We got Survivor Series War Games this Saturday in Boston, which I'm very excited for. We get the women's War Games, the men's War Games, and I'm very excited for Survivor Series War Games going to the Saturday. And I mentioned on Twitter, guests, stay tuned well. I was hoping for a guest here on my channel, but that didn't happen, obviously. But I think I did pretty well here, in my opinion. And I was hoping for I was hoping for a guest here, but just didn't work out today. But yeah, that's okay. Next time, try to get a guest on here. But it just didn't happen for today. But things didn't work out. But hey, like I said, things work out in the end. And yeah. And overall, Survivor Series 02, I thought was a very good show. Probably one of the best Survivor Series in the history of the Survivor Series show and such. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to hit the like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well to Fiorious Nation on YouTube, right here on youtube.com. Make sure you hit that bell for all notifications as well, so you know when I upload stuff with videos right here onto YouTube. So hit the bell for all notifications. Hit the like on this video if you haven't done so yet already. And please subscribe to Fiorious Nation YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Follow me also on Twitter at FioriNick579. I thought Twitter would be no more a few days ago, but obviously not right now, which I'm glad. So, in my opinion. because I have good friends there on Twitter who are very good to me, like Adam. So follow me on Twitter at FioreNick579. So Twitter, FioreNick579, at FioreNick579 on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter. Instagram, Nicholas Fiore 2014. And then Facebook, Nicholas Fiore 31. I'm Nick Fiore, Fiorious Nation on YouTube. We're going to get the hell out of here. And I will see you next time right here on Fiorious Nation. Thank you guys so much for joining. And I will see you guys later.